Oh, shit! We're talking about Steven Universe this week. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Steven Universe. Steven Universe. Hi, everyone.
This is The Gorge. We talk about video games and sometimes things that aren't video games.
Yeah. So this week we're talking about Steven Universe and not Pokemon Go.
Not Pokemon Go, because you can't really talk extensively about Pokemon Go. I mean, I'm sure I could find a way, but I can't right now because I mostly want to be out walking around and playing it. But it's okay because I like Steven Universe too.
Yes.
It has a video
yes.
game, so we're good.
Coincidentally on the mobile market.
I need to actually play.
Yeah,
it.
that might be a thing to do, but in the meantime, we can talk about the show.
Hey, look at us being all chatty and stuff about how good Steven Universe is.
'Cause it's really good.
Yeah, so, you brought this up last week, and I think the reason we I guess we're doing this because last week we also did My Hero Academia,
yes.
And it's kind of like, this is like the other half of the My Hero Academia coin, which is like, where My Hero Academia is about, like, a Japanese view on American cultural things.
About American superheroes, like one of the default standards of storytelling, that it's like exclusive to America is superheroes, and that's kind of our thing. So yeah, it's a Japanese take on that.
Where Steven Universe is an American take on Japanese storytelling tropes, especially the magical girl genre. So yeah, it kind of feels like a good, like, back-to-back thing. Plus, I mean, it's back after like 30 years of being on hiatus. So, like, yeah, man, let's talk about it. Let's
talk about it right away. Yeah, let's talk about that in the beginning. I've never seen a cartoon with a more fucked up schedule than Steven Universe.
Oh, poor Steven Universe. Right now, I was not around, I was not on the Avatar bandwagon, ever, actually. I've never actually seen all of Avatar, but I do know that it seems like only Avatar The Last Airbender and Korra, got quite as screwed over as Steven Universe. Maybe more so. They're the only ones, but Steven Universe is third on that
Yeah,
line.
Korra's scheduling was so fucked. The last two seasons didn't even air on TV. They aired on the internet.
I know. That's how much, American media doesn't know what to do with plot-based cartoons.
Which is weird because, like, I feel bad. One of the things I love about Steven Universe and the things I kind of feel bad about, like, little kids is that, like, this show has gotten to the point where it's really hard for, like, a little kid to just watch Steven Universe.
Yeah.
Because it's just gotten so in-depth and so deep. And that's great for, because kids obviously can understand this kind of thing. We've watched cartoons like this when we were kids all the time.
Yeah, that's why we all watched anime.
But if you're like, I want to watch a cartoon, I want to see the silly man do a thing. Oh, Steven Universe is on. Oh, I guess I'm not going to be doing that.
Well, I mean, in a way, though, there's like 1,000 other cartoons for that.
Yeah, go watch Uncle Grandpa.
Yeah, go watch Uncle Grandpa or Teen Titans Go, or actually don't watch Teen Titans Go.
Or watch Powerpuff Girls. Don't watch Powerpuff Girls.
No. Watch, what's the other good one that Cartoon Network?
Gumball. Go watch Gumball.
Gumball and Regular Show. Go watch those two. Because they're good, but they're not quite as in-depth as Steven Universe. And so, so you and I both watched the leaked episodes that came out in Europe before they came out in America.
I'm going to say this right now. We are talking about every episode that has aired on some form of TV thus far, which is up to Steven Floats. So we've seen up to Steven Floats is what we've seen. We haven't seen. I'm not going to talk anything about the new leaks that have come out or the new clips because I haven't seen any of those and I'm avoiding them like the plague.
Same here.
And it's really hard to do that because there's.
I've actually had a lot easier time than you. Somehow.
Well, the thing is, you don't use YouTube as often as I do, and when I click on YouTube because I've watched Steven Universe videos in the past. It's like, hey, here's a Steven Universe video. It's about spoilers. Here's a thumbnail of a spoiler character.
Do you love it? Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
I guess I'm just gonna be spoiled.
Oh no. Yeah. No, so we're up to Steven Floats, and which was a really cute, nice episode after a bunch of emotionally draining episodes. and Hit the Diamond,
Yes.
which is the single greatest piece of American media ever made. We start? It's so good!
Okay. Sorry about that. Our connection got lost for a second. I was going to talk about Hit the Diamond.
How it's the greatest thing ever.
How it's one of the best episodes I've ever seen on television of any cartoon ever. And I say that as a fan of Looney Tunes, as a fan of Ed, Edd n Eddy, and as a fan of Dexter's Lab. It is up there with the Hunting Trilogy and Mach 5 as one of my favorite episodes of anything ever.
Mach 5. But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just so... It's so quality. It is such...
Hit the Diamond is a fantastic, like culmination of just the kind of show Steven Universe can be.
And it's so... I mean, it's so funny, no matter what.
It's so funny!
It is so funny! You can watch the same clips over... When the Rubies do their name call... Like, you know, like where everybody is like, you know, like Steven! And like Earl, you know? And then the Rubies...
It's Steven, Earl, Amy, Bob, and Sophie.
Yeah, Bob.
And then the Rubies are just Ruby over and over again.
And it's so, like, the comedic timing is so perfect. Like, you know it's gonna happen, because what else are they gonna call themselves?
Yeah.
But, like, the timing
when
is
Leader
so
Ruby
perfect.
forgets to count herself in the first roll call, and, like, you're wondering how they can be so dumb as to forget, like, there's 6 of them, and now there used to be 5, and you're like, there's no way she's that dumb. And then she forgets it, and then that sets you up with, okay, this is how the rest of the episode's gonna go.
They really are just that dumb.
When Peridot trips twice trying to get to them,
oh my God.
and just ends up scampering like a dog. Peridot calling herself the new leader of the Crystal Gems.
The end bit where Amethyst is like, wow, garnets are not garnets.
Rubies are dumb.
And just the part where they can't stop flirting with each other. I love the part at the very end of the episode where Sapphire hits that home run and she's running the bases and she's gonna, you know, she's like flying toward Ruby, and you know immediately what's about to happen, and you're just like,
Garnet has one of the best line readings, better than I have 2 favorite line readings that I love more than anything. Garnet's reading of whoops when she refuses is just the best, and it's the first line reading that has topped Pearl's when Peridot catches her robot fist.
I know. Oh my God. I just think so much about, like, how funny that name call segment is.
Oh, it's so, and they're all, and you just get like a perfect example of what their personality is. There's so much personality in like an 11-minute episode for all 5 of them.
I'm so happy
when they do the Bleach reaction shots.
Yes.
And the dumb Ruby's not even looking.
And I'm so glad Lapis is exactly the way I'd hoped she'd be.
Lapis's character growth has just been perfect.
Perfect, right?
She started off as like scared, and then Steven brought her out of it, and she wanted to go home, and then she was betrayed.
She was angry.
And now she's just so fed up with everything.
She's just so, like, incredibly aware of how much bullshit she's got to put up with now that she's on Earth.
She flat out says, this plan sucks.
This plan sucks. And I'm like, you have skyrocketed to my favorite character on the show. Before it was Pearl, and now it's like Lapis and Pearl are hand in hand for my favorite characters, because she is just everything I would hope she'd be, in that she's so completely over everything.
I think my favorite thing ever is, I said to you before the episode aired, I said, oh my God, I really hope that in Barn Mates they paint a line down half of the barn, and Peridot gets one half and Lapis gets the other, and then Steven did that!
And they were both like, this is a terrible idea. Well, Lapis was like, this is a terrible idea, and then Peridot was like, no, I can work with this. And it was just, I love how much they harp on, like, the tropes of other TV shows and stuff.
Mm-hmm. There was a Tumblr post going around like early on where they're like, Steven Universe is not a real cartoon because at no point have the characters shrunk down and entered someone else's body. And then Steven mentions doing that in an episode.
I know, I was so happy. I'm just like, oh my god, this is real. So I'm hoping it actually does happen, but it's nothing like what anybody expects either. Like, I really cannot wait for. Apparently, we are getting the entirety of season 3 this coming month.
Yeah, like it's gonna be an episode every day, every weekday,
and then we're gonna have another 4 years of nothing.
Yeah,
but
of course,
I'm gonna enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, we're gonna get like 3 or 4 weeks worth of Steven Universe.
I know,
it's gonna be incredible.
It's gonna be like a normal TV show for just a little while. I can't believe it. I'm just in awe. I'm like, we're actually going to have a real season of Steven Universe. Like normal TV people. We're going to be like normal TV watching people now. I'm so happy. I know. It's like, we don't get this.
This show, and it's great because this show is so worth it. Because like we talked about last week, how My Hero Academia is so genuine. Steven Universe is just so genuine in everything that it wants to be.
Right? It doesn't try to be like cynical. Even when it's being, like, you know, breaking my heart, making me cry at
even
3
when it's
a.m.
being, like, dark, even when it's being serious and dramatic, there's no hint of cynicism, there's no hint of cruelty.
Right.
It's all just genuine emotion.
And it's so fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably one of the most fun cartoons I've watched ever. In a long time.
Like, ever. It's just, I don't know, it's so fun, and it's so, I can't even describe it beyond, like, sparkly. Like when I watch it,
it's clean. It's clean.
It's so clean, and I don't mean that like, you know, like a prude. I mean it literally feels just like good, clean fun. Even again when I'm crying my eyes out, like you know, it just feels like just good, pure, wholesome awesomeness. And it has super good music and amazing art, and it has a really great direction, like an art direction that has really refined.
It's gotten so much. Like, I can't go back and watch the early episodes because, like, in comparison to what we got now, they look awful.
They are some pretty rough. Those original character models are pretty rough. They're only like a few steps ahead of like the weirdness of the pilot.
Oh god, I couldn't even watch the pilot. I watched like 2 minutes of it, and I'm like, thank God we didn't get those character designs.
Yeah,
they're terrible.
I like Garnet's. I think she looks really cool. But the others, I'm just kind of like, Mostly just Steven is not cute, and that's a disaster.
Steven's design, the pilot design for Steven looks like someone drew like bad fan art of Steven.
Right, he looks like a tiny man, not a cute child. You know,
like he looks like if someone tried to draw Danny DeVito as Steven Universe.
You're right. Oh my god, that's amazing. I never even thought about that. You're totally right. Because he looks like a little man. He looks like a strange little horrible man-child. And I'm like, no, bring back my cute cuddly. He's gotten so flippin' like his character design is so flippin' adorable now.
It's dude in Steven Floats. I don't think he's ever been cuter in Steven Floats. Oh my god!
And in the when he's singing, you know, Peace and Love.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's so good.
It's so cute. I'm just like, I'm going to pinch this kid's cheeks, and nobody is going to be able to stop me. You know, I'm just going to just squeeze him.
He's so great. I think the moment where I'm like, I'm trying to remember like what was the moment like where I think it was when I fell in love with this character the most is after I can't remember what episode it was, but the one where they end it with going putt-putt golfing, and Garnet wears Greg's golf pants.
I know which one you're talking about, and I can't remember what it is.
I can't remember what they were doing in that episode, but the ending scene where Garnet's putting and Steven yells, "I always get what I want!" I'm like, that's the moment where I'm like, okay, I love this character to death.
I love this kid. I adore this kid. I really need to do a rewatch because I have all of the seasons on Amazon, because I buy my media like a grown-ass woman these days, mostly. As much as I can get away with. And yeah, I need to go back and rewatch all of it because I really enjoy a lot of the fun of the first few seasons. Like, I think there's it's kind of rough around the edges in certain places for sure. But
there's only 3 episodes I can think of that I just didn't really enjoy.
Which ones?
the 2 Ronaldo episodes.
Oh.
Because I hate Ronaldo.
Yeah, he's not my favorite. I actively dislike Lars, but like I can handle.
I dislike Lars and Ronaldo.
I can handle Ronaldo like in small doses because he's kind of funny. There's nothing funny about Lars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Lars just isn't a funny character. He's just a douchebag.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
There's nothing likable about him. Like, Ronaldo, he's kind of like funny because he's such a ridiculous kind of like Fox Mulder taken to the nth degree. But like Lars is just an asshole.
Yeah.
He's mean.
And the other episode I didn't really enjoy, and that's just because I just didn't feel like it was that spectacular of an episode. I didn't really enjoy Sadie's song a lot.
Aw, I love Sadie's song.
I liked it, but it wasn't, I'm not putting it up there. It was just like, oh, it's an episode.
I love that. I just like Steven singing at the end of it. It was so
Steven
cute.
singing was good, but I just felt like the episode was like, it felt like a season 1 episode.
Yeah, it
was kind of like smack dab in the middle of like more intense stuff.
Yeah, it did feel kind of out of place, and it kind of meandered a little too much, I think, which is amazing for an 11-minute episode.
Yeah.
But it did manage to meander. I'm like, alright, get on with it, come on. But it is really cute at the end. Like, the ending is
that song was cute.
Super cute. It's adorable.
But like that's it out of what 50 plus 70 episodes.
I don't know anymore. I've lost count of how many episodes of Steven Universe there are. There's a lot.
Yeah, because they're 11 minutes long, and you can get 2 in an episode.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and I enjoy. I can't really think of any episode that I really just did not like. I'm sitting here thinking
it's hard, isn't it?
It's hard
because like even the episodes that you were just kind of on at least had like at least a funny line or like a good scene in them.
I know, and like even like when they announced the Uncle Grandpa crossover episode,
dude, I loved that episode.
I know, and I was so surprised because literally nobody expected it to be any good, right?
Yeah,
because
people complain about that episode a lot, and I'm just like, get over yourself.
It's so funny.
Pearl freaking the hell out.
That's not my baby.
That's not my baby! Is one of the best things ever. And then,
oh my God.
What is the line she has where they're trapped in the void, and she's like, "There's no escape. This is our new home."
I love Pearl. Can we just take?
Pearl. We can talk about Pearl for a while. We can talk about Bird Mom.
I could probably talk extensively about how much I love Bird Mom because she's equal parts just so tragic and so funny in how completely fucking neurotic she is. Like, I love this crazy Bird Mom. I do.
She is she has so many good lines, and I love that. God bless whoever did it, but someone made like a 2 to 5 minute video of Pearl noises.
Of Pearl being. I saw the one of Pearl being salty, which is amazing. Yeah, no. Where she's just like, nah, she's just Pearl. But yeah, all of her weird little grunts and stuff.
The best one is when she gets stabbed by Hollow Pearl.
She's so good. I don't. What is her voice actor's name?
I don't remember. The only one I remember is
Estelle?
Michaela does the voice of Amethyst.
I know,
and Estelle does the voice of Garnet.
That's easy. I think is it like Dee Dee? Her name is like Dee Dee or something.
Yeah, Dee Dee something. I can't remember what it is now, but I think it's Dee Dee.
I know that Steven's voice actor's first name is like Jason, I think.
Yeah, and he's like 17 years old.
Yeah, God bless that kid. We'll talk about that in a minute. But no, I just love Pearl. She's so equal parts ridiculous and so sad that I was immediately endeared to her weirdness. Because she's not kind of cold or detached like Garnet. I mean, Garnet isn't, obviously. But, she kind of puts off that air. And Amethyst...
Stoic.
Yeah, stoic. And, Amethyst is, more your big sister, not so much your mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Pearl is just, really...
Pearl has to make up for the mom sense that the other two don't express.
And she's not very good at it. But she tries really, really hard.
She's bad at it, so she makes up for it by being super overzealous about everything.
Exactly. And I love it. Obviously a running theme here is from last week and this week is I love characters who are just trying their best, man. I'm just so endeared to them because I understand 100%. Everybody understands that feeling where it's just you're just trying your hardest and you're not very good at it, but you hope that your earnesty comes across in your actions, and so even if you kind of suck at whatever you're doing, Like, you really just hope people pick up on the fact that you're really trying, like, really hard. Yeah. And so I completely sympathize with everything Pearl does. And, I mean, even when she's being completely horrible, and she can be completely horrible, of course, but I totally understand her, you know? Like,
right, and that's what I love about the series, that every character has their own faults, and they're expressed, and they're not excused, and they're worked around.
Right, and they're talked about, and they're not, you know, it's a cool thing about Steven Universe is really different from a lot of American cartoons, is that your problem isn't immediately resolved by the end of the episode, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, well, we're back to status quo. There really is no status quo in Steven Universe, and I think that's kind of what makes it so unique, is that a thing can happen, and it can permanently change things, for the better or for the worse.
Like Garnet, when Pearl used Garnet to become Sugalite over and over, or not Sugalite, Sardonyx. And Garnet held on to that for like 5 episodes.
Yeah, because it was a major violation, and like, and even after all of that, you know, after Garnet's like final pep talk at the end of their like kind of the little sequence where they've been fighting this whole time, afterwards, like, Pearl's character has changed some. She's gotten a little bit, she's gotten more confident. She's not so like willing to just kind of take things lying down. She punches Peridot in the face, which is the single greatest part of the whole show.
Oh, I loved it.
I loved it, because I was not expecting it at all. I was just watching the episode and chilling out and doing my thing, and I'm like, I hope Pearl stomps this chick. And then she punched her in the face, and I was like, yes! Yay! You punched that bitch, Pearl. And of course then I fell in love with Peridot. But still, I love Pearl. I love Pearl.
Pearl's so great, and I love how neurotic she is about everything. She's the best parts of like being the neat freak and being the overbearing soccer mom.
But she's also like the best parts of being like the overbearing soccer mom, where she goes and sees the play and she's like, "You're amazing, Steven!
You're so talented!"
She's like the best mom.
The part where she completely sandbags Mayor Dewey, though, is so great.
Oh, man.
Where she just gets up silently and walks away.
Oh, my God. I loved, like, because even I had that, like, wait, what moment where he says, you know, the hot one, and I was like, beg pardon? Huh? Hot? What? Yeah.
I just want to say really quickly, and I'm super biased, and I know he's kind of a divisive character. I love Mayor Dewey.
I love Mayor Dewey.
I'm biased
harmless.
Because I mostly love him because he's voiced by Joel Hodgson.
Okay,
but
you are biased. You're not a very good source for this kind of thing. But
I think he's a fucking hilarious character.
He's another character who actually is pretty like genuine in all of his actions. You know, like
he's kind of like the corrupt politician, but not so much like corrupt as in like, you know, greedy or anything like that. He's more like the mayor in Powerpuff Girls, where he's just kind of an incompetent, lovable goofball.
Yeah, he's just kind of like an idiot, but he's trying, and you can tell he actually does care a lot about Beach City, but he's just really bad at it. He's bad at it.
I think the best example is when Lapis stole the oceans.
Oh, yeah.
And there's that shot of him sobbing with a garden hose, trying to fill the oceans back up.
I've forgotten about.
Yeah, no, it's the best because he's just inconsolably sobbing in desperation.
It's good visual comedy, you know, because like he would have just sat there forever.
Yeah, he would have done it for as long as it took.
Oh God, that's so funny. I'd completely forgotten about that. Oh my God.
Oh, and speaking of funny, Amethyst has some of the best line. Whenever something goes wrong when I'm eating a sandwich, like or anything like that, the first thought is, "No, mi torta."
I just like the part when Peridot escapes and she's waiting at the top of the steps and she just goes, "Hey."
Yeah. Or the bit when they think Peridot's betrayed her and she gets too mad to think of an insulting nickname.
Oh my God, I just see, like, I'm not, you know, everybody's like, well, there's 3 moms, and I'm not totally on board that camp, because, like, to me, Amethyst is really more like your weird big sister.
Yeah, Amethyst is such a big... The best thing, I think the scene where it proves that she's not a mom is when Steven gets attacked by that raccoon multiple times, and all Amethyst does is laugh.
Exactly. Because, like, the other two moms would have done something, but no, Amethyst just laughs because it's really funny.
Or the bit where, I can't remember why he was so mad, but where Amethyst eats the cheese powder and the macaroni and cheese, and then later on, someone asks what Steven's eating, and he goes, macaroni and nothing.
Oh, God, I really do need to rewatch all of this before the season starts.
I know, it's so good.
It's just so funny, and all of the... I mean, Amethyst is just such... Like, she's so needed. Like, I think the best part is that even as the cast kind of expands to include Peridot and Lapis, like... Sorry, I should probably have water, but I don't. Even as kind of, like, the cast expands to include these new characters... Usually in shows like this, when they add new characters, it kind of feels like it's getting bloated. But like Peridot and Lapis both feel like necessary.
They feel, and it's the comparison to this is Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain,
right?
Which was they had a whole episode about this early on. I always think of that whenever I think people like complaining about Peridot and Lapis being added to the show. I always think of the episode of Pinky and the Brain where they had Larry.
Right.
To show that, no, the dynamic doesn't work if you add a new character.
Yeah.
But for this show shows that it can work.
Right, yeah,
because
absolutely.
Peridot and Lapis fill roles that the other characters don't necessarily fulfill.
Right, like they kind of come close. Like Lapis kind of feels like a cross between Garnet and Pearl because she's kind of like so straight-faced. But also so fucking sad.
Yeah, but now that Lapis is here, that frees up Garnet and Garnet and Pearl to do their other roles.
Right. Yeah, and it's kind of cool to have, just to have it work. You know, the fact that
have all these different
really
relationships, different kinds of relationships between the characters.
And all these different interactions. And I love Garnet like winking and snapping at Peridot when she's like, "What a fuse." And Peridot freaks out. She's like, "Nah, that's cool. Take your time." And then she's also still like finger guns, and I'm like,
and then the whole episode previous to that, where she's just giving Peridot thumbs up whenever she does anything good.
Yes, I love. I think it's probably. I feel like this is gonna be another podcast where I just go, "I love this. I love this. I love this." You know?
Pretty much, yeah. That's why we're doing this one back to back with My Hero Academia, because it's more or less the same idea of let's just keep heaping praise on this series.
Exactly, because Oh, are you serious? You don't have to pause it. 1 second.
Okay.
Hush! Hold on. Yoshi, what are you seeing? Huh?
Speaking of loving things, we both love our dogs a whole lot. They're really great dogs. And everyone loves them. Especially when they make themselves known on the podcast.
Hi. What? Are you laughing at me saying shushy to my dog?
No, I'm laughing because it's your turn for the dogs to interrupt the podcast.
I know, right? Mine are
Last time it was my turn.
Usually mine are so quiet, but this time there's a guy going for a walk in my neighborhood.
He's catching Pokemon.
At this point, I assume everybody I see walking on my street is trying to catch Pokemon. But no, we don't have to pause the episode. That's fine. Listen, I've learned that lots of podcasts just kind of roll with this kind of thing, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love Garnet. I'm gonna just keep heaping praise because right now I can't think of anything negative about Steven Universe.
I can't either, and that's really shocking.
I know because I'm a very, me, I'm a judgmental motherfucker.
Yeah. I think the best thing about Garnet is that Garnet could do anything and it would be in character for her.
You're so right. I love that. It's the best thing.
It's one of the best Garnet moments ever is when Greg plays his music in the car and she just silently opens the door and rolls out.
Yes. Oh my god. And the funny thing is when I started the show, I think a lot of people are the same way. I didn't dislike Garnet, but I didn't really feel anything about Garnet.
You go into that show with a certain level of expectation, because you're kind of used to these kind of character types,
right.
and you expect Garnet to be the cynical, cool one.
Right, she's stoic, she's quiet, she's, kind of cynical, or at least that's what you assume, because she's, shades and all that stuff. And then it turns out she's just a giant dweeb.
And then it turns out that she is capable of just doing whatever the hell she wants. There's that part where it's just like 10 seconds of her and Steven doing aerobics to a Korean aerobics tape.
Yes.
And then she gets bored and smashes the tape recorder.
Yes.
No reason. They've never been shown doing that before.
But why not?
Just, here's a shot of them doing some Korean aerobics.
Absolutely. And it's... she's just so endearing. And, like I said, it turns out not only is she a giant dork, she's actually two tiny dorks in an oversized coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's how did that one video put it? She's two lesbians in an overcoat trying to sneak into an R-rated movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what Garnet is. And I love it. I love Garnet. I could cry every time she tells Steven she loves him. Mm-hmm. Because it's always the sweetest. Like it's always put in the sweetest way, and you're just like,
When in
Jailbreak.
When it rains.
Right.
When it rains, when the gems go on a mission, and she goes, "Oh, Steven, I almost forgot."
Yeah.
I love you.
I know.
And then she just leaves.
I know. It's so cute. It's so sweet. And you're like, "Oh, Garnet, I adore you." Or
there's the bit where they're playing Steven's kitchen board game.
Right.
And she's like, "I now own the golden spatula." Yes!
Yes! I wish I...
Or when she breaks into Kofi's car to steal his phone.
Yes! Oh my god, yes! And Steven floats! And you're...
She just jumps off camera and breaks into Kofi's car!
What's the line? Steven goes, "Where did you get a phone?" "Not important." And I'm like, oh my god.
That joke is twofold, because it's also great that Steven has the owner of the pizza shop's number in his phone.
Right. Just in case. And because that totally ties back into what you said, is that nothing Garnet does can be out of character now, beyond disliking Steven. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything else she does could totally be in character. And I loved the episode where Steven was explaining where he thought she was and what she
Garnet's universe is one of my favorite episodes ever.
It's so cute, and she just goes along with it too. And at the very end, she's like, "That's not what happened."
Yeah.
And it was so... it's so cute. And just, I like that it's such a blatant, Chrono Trigger reference.
Yeah, Hop, one of them.
Hoppy
I love that even Garnet screws up their name at one point.
I know, right? Hopper! Yeah.
Yeah. One of them is just Frog, and the other is Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's great. It's so...
Which really ties into the thing we mentioned last week, how My Hero Academia is what happens when a comic book nerd grows up and gets to draw his own comic.
Right.
Steven Universe is what happens when one of us grows up and gets to make her own show, the show that we all wanted to make when we were kids.
Right, exactly. This is what happens when a weeb grows up and actually has the power to make a cartoon.
This is what happens when a girl who used to write Invader Zim fanfiction gets to draw her own cartoon.
Exactly. And
she straight up did that.
She had an Invader Zim OC, my friend.
Yeah. She was in there, man.
She was in the shit with the rest of us. And so I respect Rebecca Sugar more than anybody else in the industry, for sure. Because, man, that is legit. I understand. She likes
You can just see all of the reference. There's Dragon Ball Z, there's Sailor Moon, there's Invader Zim, there's Powerpuff Girls,
Chrono Trigger, Yojimbo.
Video game. The background music sound is reminiscent of Earthbound.
And it's endless. There's
Dude, Ian J. Quarterly, one of the writers of the show, I used to read his webcomic.
Wait, what? Which comic?
He used to write a webcomic called RPG World.
No!
Yeah.
Shut the front door!
Yeah. I used to read that shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's an episode where Steven has little figures on his windowsill.
It looks like Cloud, but it's totally not. It's I mean,
it's not Cloud. That's his character from RPG World.
I know, that's awesome. I remember hearing about that, and I'm just like,
yeah.
oh my god. So basically, this is exactly what happens when a bunch of weebs grow up and get to make cartoons. And it turns out to be, that's exactly what always needs to happen. You know?
I think one of my favorite things about this is, like, besides the blatant references, the blatant references and nods, stuff like that, the fact that not only does Steven own a GameCube, we can see that he owns Animal Crossing and Wind Waker. Which
are the most Steven games that have ever existed.
But, like, it's not just, like, generic consoles. Like, no, we can tell what box that is.
It's a purple lunchbox. That's a GameCube. And that's Wind Waker and Animal Crossing. Like, I love the Golf Quest is basically just like a bizarre Earthbound like riff kind of.
It also like feels reminiscent of like early Shin Megami games too.
Yeah, because of the weird science like plot twist at the end of the game.
Very like it's like a combination of like PS1 Final Fantasies and like early Shin Megami and like Earthbound weirdness.
And it's like even that's like really well thought out, and like Camp Pining Hearts is so
which feels like every 90s Canadian show that aired on Nickelodeon.
Degrassi, it's just one big stupid Degrassi reference. Yeah, and I'm just like, I love it. It is so. I mean, it's just so, you're like, yeah, Rebecca Sugar, you keep doing you, because frankly, if I had your power, I'd do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. This is the cartoon that we all wanted it to be when we were growing up. Like, if I had a cartoon, it would be this, and I'd have this, and it'd do this. And she did it.
Yeah, she did it. Congratulations.
It's like when you realize that when you're an adult, you don't need a reason to buy cake.
Right, yeah. You can just buy cake whenever you want. Or you can just make your own dumb anime whenever you want. Yeah. Nobody is stopping you. Like, oh man, I love all of the anime references because it completely validates what I always thought when I was a kid was that, oh my god, we are all going to grow up one day and it's going to be everywhere. And I was right.
Steven Universe is the beginning of when teachers have to call out to their students, and one of them is named Naruto.
Yeah, or like Sephiroth. I saw I saw something on the internet the other day where some kid was named Sephiroth, and I was like, it begins.
This is the beginning.
It begins now.
You can't. The end isn't here, but you can see it on the horizon.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh well, this is the decline of Western civilization. I see. The weebs grew up. We didn't all just stay in our basements like we should have. Oh, it's a damn shame. But like
Peridot's just Invader Zim. She's just Zim.
I mean, she's just Zim. She even sounds like Zim, you know?
And that's why I love her the most out of every character in the series. I love Peridot so much.
You would. That does not surprise me one bit. I know you love Peridot.
She's the reason I got into the show.
Really?
Yeah, when I saw like a clip of Peridot being a spaz, I'm like, yeah, alright, I'm finally in. I'll do it.
I don't even remember what got me started. What got me started?
Me.
I mean, I know it was you, but, like, something kind of, I always, me, it's kind of like pulling teeth sometimes.
Yeah, I think you just started.
Did I just start? Was it just that I was finally like, alright, let's get on the band? I think it was because I was bored. I didn't want to play video games for once in my life.
I think that was it, because I think you texted me, like, I'm starting it.
Yeah, that's totally what it was, because I was bored. Oh no, it's because I moved, remember? And I didn't have internet, that's it!
And you had nothing to do!
I had no internet for like a week, and so I had to like download it, and I was like, fine, I'll start Steven Universe. And so I downloaded the whole first season, I sat and I watched it, and I was like, I have made a mistake. Yep.
Yeah.
I have made a mistake. I have just gotten myself involved with something I can never turn back from. So, but it was so good. And I mean, I did not expect to be so charmed by it.
Right, yeah, you expect it to be like a good cartoon, but you don't expect to be so endeared to it.
Right, and I had no idea. I was like 3 episodes in, and I think I texted you. I was like, oh, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I texted you like, oh, I love this show.
I was in episode 1. I was like, alright, I'm in during the Cookie Cat commercial.
Oh my god.
When Steven just yells out, he left his family behind! Because it comes out of nowhere.
I know! And it's so funny! Because it's just... I can't even describe... I can't even explain why it's so funny. I guess because it's just so... It's that awesome I mean, if you need something to be funny, you can never go wrong with like really lighthearted comical, and then the immediate juxtaposition of something like really overdramatic.
It's like that, or yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's just like the shift between like a lighthearted, jingly commercial, then just something just big, shocking swerve.
He left his family behind. Come on, like
and then
comedy.
The callback later on when Steven has Garnet's future vision and he's worried about what will kill him, and he has the imagined spot of Cookie Cat killing him, and he's like, I never imagined you could be evil!
And I like Steven's like little, he always imagines himself dying, and he just poofs into a little skeleton Steven, and I'm just like, oh, you child, this sweet. I mean, he again, going back to My Hero Academia, it's like the American version of Izuku, where he's just really sad and always trying really hard and not always succeeding, and I love him.
He's such a good character, and I love that, like, just watch, like, we get to watch him grow up and change, and it
actually, again, because Steven Universe doesn't have a status quo, it sticks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't stay the same character like other cartoons, you know, like Adventure Time.
Yeah. Well, Adventure Time goes through a lot of changes too, but like that doesn't take a season for it to kick in.
Yeah, I mean, like, everything I've seen of Adventure Time, it kind of feels like it really drags its feet to kind of get to
Adventure Time feels like it's fumbling where Steven Universe makes the catch.
Yeah, I think because they never expected it to actually be a show with plot.
Yeah.
But then the adult audience kind of sunk its teeth into it, and then they're like, I guess we should cater to them too. But it didn't really work out. I don't know. I need to watch more Adventure Time to form like a
real opinion on it. Yeah. I watched like the first season, and like I just dropped off because it wasn't interesting me.
Right. Yeah, and that's the problem. It's kind of like, I feel like if I watched more of it, I could have a more, like, nuanced opinion, but as, like, an outsider looking in, that's kind of how I see it, where it's like, oh, well, this is a show that started out as just kind of, like, fun and weird and goofy, and then kind of tried to go too much.
Took a turn.
Yeah, and not in a good way, because it doesn't seem very plotted out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where, meanwhile, Steven Universe has been hinting at things from literally the first episode, and now we're finally getting reveals for it. It's like One Piece, but on a shorter time scale.
Yeah. the callback level on some of the things in Steven Universe is pretty incredible.
I will never forget when somebody pointed out to me in the episode that's called it's Fusion Dinner, where they go to meet Connie's parents as Alexandrite, when they all finally defuse, and you see that Garnet isn't Garnet, she's two different gems.
Yeah.
And then she fuses into Garnet on her way down. Like, somebody pointed that out to me, and I was like, holy shit, this has been hinted at since the beginning.
When Pearl reforms after she gets poofed, she shifts between her pilot design, her the design she had when Rose and Greg were together, to her first season 1 design, and then her current design.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, I love seeing those little hints all over the place. I like seeing them play out, and not being like big shocking reveals either. They're just kind of more like, hey, this is a thing that happened, look. And
Garnet's fusion status was even hinted at because only fusions have irises.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. So I mean, like, things like that are really cool, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I like seeing those payoffs, and the show handles those kind of twisty payoffs really well. Like, they don't try to make it like a da-da note moment.
Yeah, it's a reveal where, like, it doesn't, like, point it out to you. It lets you figure out, oh, yeah, wow, that happened.
Yeah, I think the thing that makes Steven Universe so successful with everybody, not just kids, not just adults, is that it doesn't treat any of its viewers like idiots.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of cartoons these days, I have nieces, and they're only 2. And they're smart. They're smart little kids.
Kids are smart.
Kids are smart. And I think a lot of cartoons try to ignore that, and they think, well, kids are dumb. Well, no, kids are actually pretty smart. And then you think back to when you were a kid, right? And we were kids watching anime when it finally kind of really took off in America, and we could follow those really complicated plot lines.
I could follow DBZ.
I was watching Gundam Wing when I was like 12, and I could totally follow it. I mean, like, occasionally I was like, wait, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, because you missed a day and Toonami airs episodes daily, so
Yeah.
you're like, what happened?
Wait,
What? Who?
what did I miss?
Who died?
Who? What? Yeah, exactly. But then, you know, you go and you watch it, and it's like, I followed that pretty well when I was a kid. I followed like, the weirdness of Sailor Moon pretty well. And so, like, then you think back and you're like, oh, kids really aren't stupid. And so that's really what helps Steven Universe a lot, is that it never treats its viewer like they're dumb, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they never hold your hand. They just say, here, this is what's happening, go with it. And frankly, knowing how I was as a little child, I know for a fact what makes it succeed is that children are little gluttons for pain. They love sad shit, okay?
Yeah.
The episode of Sailor Moon where she turns into the princess for the first time because Darien or Mamoru died, kind of. That's finger quotes. You can't see them. Died. I must have rewatched that 35,000 times. I had it on VHS. Like, my mom recorded it for me because I was like, I'm a little glutton for pain, and I love this. And it was like, it was all sparkly and flashy and girly and sad. And I was like, yeah, this is nothing like any of the other stuff that's on TV. And that's why Steven Universe succeeds.
Yes, exactly. It's so genuine in all of the pain. And I love that, like, even the sad moments aren't necessarily like the gut punch sad moments. It's like it's a dull ache that you can kind of see in certain characters like Pearl and Greg.
Except for Rose's Scabbard, which is the saddest piece of television ever made.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you do get those gut punches, but like you see it, it's more subdued and spread out, and it's like,
oh, this is really
sad. You just see it in the way certain characters interact with each other.
Right, yeah, and it's like, oh, this is actually really sad, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, but man.
The fact that even as much as Pearl loves Steven and she adores him, she kind of uses, like, the overzealousness as kind of like a cover-up for the fact that she resents him for kind of being the reason Rose is gone.
Right, and the nice thing is, again, with all this wonderful character development we've gotten over 3 seasons, it's kind of cool to watch all of that develop out, you know? To kind of leave and be replaced with just like, oh, I just adore Steven for being Steven, you know? And I think it's super great, even though Rose's Scabbard is the single saddest piece of television ever written in the history of man. Because I was just really gross after that episode. I was disgusting.
Rose's Scabbard and Do It For Her.
I was okay with Do It For Her, or Sworn to the Sword is actually what it's...
Oh, it's Sworn to the Sword, yeah.
Yeah, but the song is Do It For Her. I actually survived Sworn to the Sword because, like, it was just really cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
The why won't you let me do this for you, Rose line
sad, but
is just like, that's the
you just grab your heart and cry.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, the part where Steven and Connie are fighting all the little hollow pearls is so
and
cool.
They're doing she's the jam and he's the biscuit.
Yes! Like, they're so cool. It's just cool. And Steven is cool, you know?
Yes.
Because he's got his sword, he's got his shield, he's actually, like, fighting with it. And then Nightmare Hospital happens, like, immediately afterward.
Yes. I love Nightmare Hospital.
So good, right? Because Dr. Maheshwaran is really funny, for one.
Yeah.
And for two, like, oh man, Steven and Connie are little badasses.
Because I love Mary Elizabeth McGlynn so much, the biggest role, like, certain voice actors have, like, that role where you close your eyes and you hear their voice and you think that character.
Right.
Vic Mignogna has Edward Elric.
Right.
Yuri Lowenthal has either Sasuke or Yosuke. Pick your poison.
Pick your skays.
Mary Elizabeth McGlynn has the Major.
Right.
And imagining Major Kusanagi saying, "Do you know how many children I see who've cut their faces off with swords?"
None of them, because they have parents who love them. It's so good, especially because Chokusa is her dad.
I know. You've got Cam. Is it Cam Clark? Yeah.
Huh?
Is it Cam Clark or?
No, it's Crispin Freeman.
Crispin Freeman, yeah. Sorry, Crispin Freeman and Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, two of the most prolific voice actors, and they're like relatively minor characters.
They're bit parts in like this cartoon. They're like huge voice acting stars, and they're just little bit parts. It's so funny. They're so
I love
good.
it.
Oh,
and
man.
it's like, I feel like they did that because, like, there's no other really big name in the series
Except
like, I feel like they
Estelle.
did that intentionally.
Except for Estelle, like, she's...
Yeah, but she's not a voice actress.
Right,
She's a
singer.
musician.
She's a singer. Like, yeah, it's crazy that everybody else is such an unknown, and then, boom, out of nowhere, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn and Crispin Freeman. What?
And they're Steven's friends' parents.
Yeah, it's so, like, the first time Connie's dad spoke, I was like, is that... No,
wait a minute.
That can't be. What?
And then you look it up and you're like, oh, it is.
Oh my god, that's Crispin Freeman. Oh my god, it's so good. I mean, I love this show. It just makes me so
and
happy.
Speaking of parents, I think we talked about how last week how All Might's the best dad.
Best dad.
No, Greg is the best dad.
No, I don't know. I might have to fight you for that one. I mean, we might have to have like a throwdown because All Might is the single greatest dad ever. But Greg is pretty good.
I don't know, man. I mean, the only time Greg screwed up is when he faked a broken leg so that he could spend more time with his son.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, God, Greg Universe is a man who never deserved any of this bullshit.
No.
Because he was so earnest. Again, another character who's just so genuine and trying his best and not really succeeding, but really, really, really trying. You know, he lives out of a van and he runs a car wash, and he's still just like 1,000% on Steven's side no matter what. You know?
I think some of his best moments were in Keystone Motel.
Oh, Keystone Motel is so good.
He had some of the best lines ever, which one of them was, I'm off to see a man about a brush. If I'm not back in an hour, call the police. Or when he walks in and he sees that the entire motel room is froze and he just goes, uh-oh, there's the other one.
I love the square pizza. I wish I could remember the exact quote, but I like the square pizza talk.
Yeah, someday you will learn to love all pizzas.
Including square pizza. You know, I do love Greg Universe. I don't think he's better than All Might. I'll fight you. But, he's like a close second. I'll give you that. He's like
such a great dad,
because
man.
Most anime dads are garbage, but then we've got back-to-back two awesome anime dads who are just flawless in everything they do.
He just everything about Greg is great. The part where he and Pearl are squaring off and he drops the mic
and then
he's like, wait a minute, this equipment is expensive.
What am I doing? Yeah. Oh man. I love all the flashback episodes. I love seeing, I don't know, it's just cute. And I like seeing Rose. I like that Rose isn't just a dead anime mom. You know,
Rose is a very interesting character,
right? I'm always
because she's set up to be the all-loving, friend to all living creatures thing,
right?
But she's really not.
I mean, she's not. She
Steven gets all of his compassion from his dad.
I don't know.
Like his genuine love for people.
Yeah.
He gets that from Greg. What he gets from Rose is his curiosity.
Yeah.
And it's that because. She and not to say that Rose doesn't love people. She obviously cares a great deal about things. But like she has that line in The Secret when Garnet asks what she is, or Garnet asks like, "You're not offended by me." Rose's line is, "Who cares what I think? What you think is more interesting."
Yeah, yeah. I'm really, really interested by everything Rose kind of is and does because she's not like a dead anime mom. I mean, she kind of is, but she's not. She's still like a major character even by not being there. Everything in the show kind of exists because of what Rose did. She's so... I mean, she fought in a war.
Yeah.
How cool is that? You know, she literally fought in a war with a sword and a shield like a badass knight chick. And she did, maybe, we're not really sure, she might have done some terrible things. Nobody really knows.
It's indirectly, because we see it through Pearl's point of view, is what Rose did, and we know that Pearl is super biased towards everything that Rose does.
So
because she's Squidward and she loves Steven's dead mom, Mrs. Marshmallow. She's crazy.
She's crazy, yeah. And I don't know.
What we do is the way it kind of flat out says it is that we have Pearl, who talks a great deal about Rose's great accomplishments in the war, and then we have Greg, who says, no such thing as a good war, buddy.
Yeah. Like, that's so interesting to me. I just want to know more about her. And we always get these little snippets, and I feel like I know more is coming, of course.
Yeah.
Jasper is still on the planet, and Jasper is going to give us our answers. You know what I mean?
Well, Jasper's not on the planet; she's in the planet.
Well, she's in fucking jail where she belongs.
God bless their way of just like, she's gone.
Well, we're not
just show her sliding to her doom
into a literal hole. We're just gonna shut her into a hole for a while.
And I love the straight up split, the divide between reaction of being, oh my god, I can't believe they got rid of Jasper this way. How could they do this to Jasper? And then the other side, it's haha, bye.
Goodbye forever, you evil fucking Cheeto.
There's that one one of the best Tumblrs ever is Steven Universe Facts.
Right.
That's just the joke. Did you know Steven Universe blog? Yeah. Where it's like, did you know they'll eventually make an episode where they'll want us to feel bad for Jasper?
I know. And I like, the funny thing is, I kind of feel like it's coming. Like, I don't know. Maybe I don't. I feel like it could really go either way. And no matter what happens, because I like Steven Universe so much, and I trust the writing so much, I'm going to like it no matter what way
I'm going to be
goes.
happy with either way her development goes.
Right.
But, like, if she doesn't get redeemed, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm cool with Jasper being an evil Cheeto forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think if she does get redeemed, she'd be a really funny addition because she's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't, then it's kind of like, well, then there's that whole... I mean, because Steven's superpower really is making friends with literally everybody. Yeah. And so it's kind of like, well, hey, you can't make friends with literally everybody. You can try, and God knows Steven will try. And if he succeeds, great. If not, okay. Then
also great.
Also great. No matter what happens, I win because I love Steven Universe.
Yeah.
What else? I loved the cluster episode. That's
my god, dude! Talk about like Steven Universe is a great example. Like we talked about earlier about how it's for kids. Yeah. Like one of the things I love about the show is that it doesn't shy away from going intense. And people are like, no, this show isn't for kids. See, and it's like, no, it is for kids. Yeah. It's just that kids are smart and can handle the fucking truth from FMA suddenly showing up.
Right. I think a lot of times adults try to justify liking childish things by saying, well, this isn't really for kids. And it always hurts them because in the truth it is for children. Yeah. And it's just that children can understand this perfectly fine. They can grasp, how awesome and moving something like what happened in the cluster episode can be, where it was like really, I mean, it was super intense and very scary. I was genuinely like, what the fuck is going on? Chill the fuck out, Rebecca Sugar. But at the end of it, the resolution for the cluster was so beautiful. I was so moved. I was just like, Steven could probably make friends with anything at this point. I love that there's a Tumblr post going around that says, Steven is just a bard who maxed the fuck out of his charisma.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's gonna make friends with the cluster. What are you gonna do? And it works. I mean,
it's such that last couple minutes were just so intense and such a good example of what Steven's capable of doing.
And it's such a good way to show how good and how genuinely, how heartfelt Steven Universe is, and the fact that it's just so unique in it.
It was also a really good example of how Peridot's grown, because the entire episode she's so concerned for his well-being and his safety.
Right, and the D-pad, Peridot, this doesn't feel right. Then use the D-pad. Like, oh my god, I love Peridot. When Steven's like, I love you, Peridot! Yeah. Wow, thanks.
Oh, thanks.
I know.
And I love that because that's such a callback to that other moment where she learns that when you're given a gift, you say, wow, thanks.
Right, I know. Oh my god,
Or my favorite bit is when she's like, I'm sorry I couldn't save you or the billions of other life forms that I care significantly less about.
Yeah. I loved that whole episode was so good, and I just think it was so, that last...
It was such a satisfying resolution to everything that's been building up.
And the funny thing is, like, kind of, the only thing that kind of, like, lessened its impact is Cartoon Network being inept. Because if those episodes had aired immediately after all the other build-up, it would have felt more like... Because it had been on hiatus for so long, those episodes that resolve, I didn't expect the cluster to be resolved so quickly, I guess is what I'm saying. But it really wasn't resolved quickly. This was a build-up that took several episodes, and I feel like if I do a rewatch and I watch all of the Peridot arc leading up to the cluster all at the same time, it'll feel more cohesive, because the only problem with that episode was that it felt like, oh, we're already done with the cluster. I mean, I know we're not technically already done with the cluster, because we're not, of course we're not.
Well, the cluster is Raditz, and we're leading up to Yellow Diamond as Vegeta. Which is weird, because we already had Vegeta and Nappa show up.
Right. Right, but it's okay. Because, look, don't think about the analogy too hard. The point is, like, if Cartoon Network kind of fucked it up, because of course they do, they ruin everything. Where if they had showed the cluster resolution within like a week or two of all of the other Peridot episodes, it all would have fit together as a nice kind of condensed little plot line. But because there were 3 or 4 months between the last episode and the most recent, or the new 2 episodes that showed to kick off this huge Steven, bomb thing, it kind of felt like, oh, we're already done with the cluster. Mm-hmm. Like, I was really
if we'd watched them in sequential order, it would have felt more like a natural arc, and not like a build-up that just kind of ends.
Right, because Cartoon Network doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with the show.
Don't air your plot-based show in weird chunks.
Like, I hate this fucking bomb format. I've read somewhere that it actually is commercially viable, which is
because you can put your announcement everywhere, and you can be like, hey, watch it, it's coming out today.
Right. Yeah, and apparently it's because also, like, it's a big deal between all of the different cartoon, like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network's big rivalry, is that you can't announce anything too far in advance, because Nickelodeon would announce something else big in advance to kind of drag viewers away. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to spring it on people.
Yeah, it's really not a good. It's just not a good method.
It's not a good method, and it's not a good way to kind of let Steven Universe shine, because it's so plot based that things get so lost. You know. Look, the point is, I really like Steven Universe. I wish Cartoon Network.
The other thing, like, I wish Cartoon Network would do is, dude, where's all the merch? Why aren't there action figures yet?
Like, why is the merch that does exist so
it's just T-shirts and coffee mugs right now, and there's a few books too, but like
the cheeseburger.
Yeah, but like where's the action figures? Where's the model little statues and stuff? You know, these character designs are so good.
I think
you take advantage of that and put out some figurines.
I think it's still that shitty belief that boys don't buy toys of girls, which is why there was, for such a long time, it was really hard to find a Rey figurine for Star Wars. I think it's that same old bullshit, which is totally not true, because after Star Wars came out, there were boys looking for Reys, and they couldn't find any, because they all thought everybody would gravitate toward Kylo Ren, the bad guy. Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that another time. But so I think it's that same kind of misconception that boys don't buy girl toys, even though boys have been shown to like Korra, and they love Steven Universe, but they still are like trying to cling to these old, outdated ways of viewing media. It's the same reason Young Justice got canceled.
It's like, dude, where's my Garnet with little spring-launched rocket fists? Okay.
Right, and like 1,000 shitty character designs.
Yeah,
like all
I would.
Batman toys.
I mean, like that's what this show should have, because it's a magical girl show, and they all show with their different accessories and stuff. Like, dude, take advantage of that and put out all the merch. Where's my helicopter amethyst toy?
Capitalize on this shit. Right? Where's my helicopter dog
I wish helicopter
toy?
dog were a real product.
Right? I know, right? I would totally buy it. Oh my god, I'd go see every movie.
Man, speaking of Connie's obsessions, we didn't talk a lot about her. Connie's great. Connie is such a necessary. Again, she's such a necessary character to the show, because we have Steven to be the audience surrogate character. We also have Connie to be the audience surrogate to the audience surrogate.
Right, where she kind of represents like the kind of person that would make a show like that, like Rebecca Sugar.
Yeah.
She's kind of like a Rebecca Sugar in her own way, because she's, extremely nerdy and wants to cosplay and wants to write fan fiction, and she was rewriting the end of her favorite book series because she wasn't pleased with it, and it's Harry Potter / Naruto, babies everywhere ending. You know, I love Connie because she's so. If you were ever at any point in your life a geeky 13-year-old
then
girl,
Connie is you.
Then you know you know exactly who Connie is because you have been there. Holy shit, have you been there? You have read the fan fiction and you've been up until 4 o'clock in the morning, and you know you burn through the books and you tell your friends to read the books. And then they read the books and they don't like them as much, and suddenly your whole world is over. Things like that.
That moment where she completely shuts down when Steven reveals that he's reading the books in the wrong order, and she just like immediately crashes.
Just freezes, and you're like, oh, Connie, no. Oh, no. Yeah, I understand.
I love Connie so much. She's so much fun.
I do. She's fun, and she's so, like, I want her to come back. And, I mean, I know she is coming back, because, I mean, I can't avoid tons of spoilers. Like, I've seen, like, a few things, nothing major, but I'm like, hey, that's the thing that's coming,
of course, she hasn't been in there because, like,
coming back.
Steven has been away from Beach City for so long, and, like, Connie as a character is written that where she only shows up when she's needed to. And, like, trying to put her in episodes like this wouldn't fit because she has no reason to be there.
Right, like, she can't really, I mean, you know, she's a badass, but there's a lot of things that she can't do because she is still just a person, just kind of like Steven. You know, but I adore every time
she's always welcome when she shows up.
Yes, she's always so much fun, and she brings another kind of dynamic to it, where she's very genre savvy compared to Steven not being genre savvy at all. Steven just kind of goes along with everything, but, you know, Connie's kind of the one who goes like, wait, what the hell is going on? And you need a character like that. You don't need it too often, which is why it's a good thing that Connie doesn't show up too regularly. But she's there when she's
it's the same thing with the rest of the human characters, and I love all of them except for Lars and Ronaldo. But like the other ones, I'm just like they're so great. Oh, I need another pizza episode.
I need another Pizza Family episode. I need another Pizza Family episode like now,
best. Oh, I love her.
The best character. And I love all of the pizzas. I love that whole family so much because everything they do
and the cool kids
fun.
Are that whole episode where Steven hangs out with them when he's having a hard time.
Yeah. And they're just so, again, they're nice. They're not cynical. I mean, they're kind of cynical.
Buck is probably the most cynical one, but he's so great about it.
Yeah, he's not mean about it, ever. He's just kind of like a guy. And they're just all really nice people at the same time. Even if they are kind of like your standard cynical teenagers. That's because they're teenagers and we all work.
Not cool. Earth forever.
And they're just them. Yeah, not cool. Earth forever. Here come the rocks.
I gotta ask, is that Brian Posehn?
Yes.
Because it sounds like him, but it also doesn't.
I think it is. It kind of does sound like him now that I think about it, though. I'd have to go check, and I don't want to grab my phone. I'm too lazy. Because if I pick up my phone, I might start playing Pokemon Go again.
But like, I love that the cool kids are analogs of the Crystal Gems too. That's so funny.
Oh, I know, right? It's so good, and they're just because it's like cool older sister, like weird stoic one. And then, like, the tall, skinny, pale, neurotic one. And they're all... I mean, they're still... I just love how they could have gone the route, that standard, overdone route, where it's like the older kids are hanging out with this younger kid to, like, make fun of him. You know? Like, that's such an overdone trope. But they're not. Yeah. They're like,
let's stick up for him because he needs a break every so often, and he just needs to relax and chill out.
Yeah, he's just a kid. Yeah, he's just a kid. Be nice to him.
And like, the same thing with Sadie, where she's so genuine in being Steven's friend.
Now, if we could just convince her to have a crush on somebody who isn't awful.
And I love that. I love that. Speaking of callbacks, there is that callback to when the donut store started making their own donuts again in Steven Floats, because they resolved that the legal issue, which is a callback to the episode where Steven got hired in. and they cut to the Ash silhouette on the wall.
Oh no, I've forgotten about that. Oh my god. I love...
There are so many good jokes, and I love, like, God, the crying breakfast friends.
Oh my god, right? And I like the callback to it, kind of like the
yeah, that where Pearl and Greg are talking about it, and she's like, "Do you understand that show?"
Yeah.
I don't understand anything anymore.
I don't understand. Oh, I know, right? That's such a good... I like the whole... It's just like, why would you want to watch a cartoon about things crying while our Sara...
Yeah, watch people crying all the time in this show.
All of the time? Yeah, exactly. So,
it's so good.
Man,
there's so much, like, to encapsulate on this show, but the fact is,
so much I could
it's
talk
just
about.
really, really, really good, and I'm really, really happy that it exists. Yeah.
And I'm glad it's back. What are you two barking at? Shush.
It really... It feels like the show of this quality could have aired back during the cartoon era, you know, along Ed, Edd n Eddy and Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab and, you know, all those, like, really, really good shows. It feels like this one could have gone right up there with it. Samurai Jack.
Oh, yeah.
This could have aired back to back with that.
And just... Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm really excited for that. That's going to be great.
Samurai Jack is coming back. Oh my god. By the way, Samurai Jack is coming back to Adult Swim.
That's
Holy
going to be really exciting.
Where it should have been in the first place. Oh man, that's going to be so sad.
Yeah.
Man, like, this year has been absurd. There's so much happening. And Steven Universe is back. That's what really matters, is that we are about to get 4 solid weeks of nothing but Steven Universe.
Besides
Holy
watch
shit.
it and probably cry a few times.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Probably cry a lot, yeah. Definitely cry a lot, but I'm really excited.
I'm excited to see the fallout of having Lapis and Peridot join the cast. Yeah.
And to see kind of like, well, Jasper is, I mean, she's not
on
dead,
Neptune.
Obviously. She's somewhere underneath the Earth's molten core. She's on Neptune, getting angrier. You know, so I want to see what happens with Jasper.
I think the reason, my favorite thing about this is I had a theory about why Yellow Diamond would send the rubies. The reason is because there's 3 things that could happen. They either find Jasper and bring her back, so there's a net gain, or they come back without Jasper, which is neither a gain nor a loss, or they don't make it back, which is neither a gain or a loss.
Right. Yeah, I'm really excited to see the rest of the diamonds. I'm really excited to see. I want to know. I think it's pretty much generally accepted now that Pearl is not Rose's Pearl. You know, at least I am of the opinion that
she is
Pearl
someone.
Was
she is someone else's Pearl that Rose recruited.
I'm of the opinion she's White Diamond's Pearl. Just because she kind of has that color scheme going on, and they all color coordinate with their diamonds. I am of the opinion she's...
Well, she's called a Renegade Pearl.
We'll see, I could be completely wrong. Yeah. So she could very well be, like, that level of Renegade where she was owned by
I'm really excited to see more gem culture.
And I'm really excited to see where that turns out. Yeah, me too. Some people think
I don't think so.
Rose
I don't believe that theory at all.
A diamond.
She's Rose Quartz.
I don't think so either.
Like, she's not going to change her name. She's a quartz.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also don't believe that Rose is lying.
No, she might be.
No, lion is just another thing. I do love the lamp shading.
No.
Of when, like, Steven's like, you mean lion belonged to my mom?
Right.
And everyone's like, yeah, it's pretty obvious she's connected. Yeah.
Right, because she's big.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to know what Lion's deal is. I'm wondering when Steven is going to find out that he could just put on some scuba gear and go hang out in Lion for a while.
I know.
Because I want to see what else is going on underneath that tree, damn it. That tree
Wow,
is the background of my computer.
that's
It
saying
finally
a lot,
replaced Madoka
then.
After years of being Madoka. I know, that's really powerful, because for years, I've had this laptop for like 2 years now, and up until like 6 months ago, no, like 3 months ago, my background was a Madoka background, and finally Steven Universe was like, nope, no bitch, you are gonna make it pink, and so I picked Rose's Hill, and I would like to know what's going on with everything underneath Rose's Hill. Damn it!
Either we get some answers soon, or we'll get some answers later, and I don't care as long as we get them eventually, because it's been a hell of a ride so far. Yeah,
it's literally One Piece. It's One Piece with faster pacing.
Rebecca Sugar, I'm so glad that we have the branching path, the family tree of Powerpuff Girls employees branching off to make their own shows.
Oh, I know, right?
Like if you track the path,
we can make our
like
own cartoon and we
Flapjack, Chowder, Adventure Time, Steven Universe, Gravity Falls.
Oh wait, shut up! No way.
I think he's
Gravity
connected
Falls?
through there somewhere.
Alex Hirsch worked on Powerpuff
Yeah.
Girls?
I think. Yeah, that's like
Shut
the next on the
up!
list.
That's
is
awesome!
like,
I gotta watch Gravity
Steven
Falls,
Universe, it's like that. If you like blank, you'll also like blank, and like
Yeah.
Gravity Falls is the Steven Universe equivalent to that.
Blank. Yeah, and I need to.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it has it has a reference.
So
it
then
has
we can talk about it
Rob
here.
Paulson did sprite work for
Hey,
it,
look
so
at
that
us.
counts. Yeah, Rob Paulson worked on video games.
Right? Yeah, sure.
He made Scott Pilgrim, and then he did sprite work for Gravity Falls.
That works absolutely. Oh yeah, he did, because he did
Yeah.
two. There's like 2 sprite things in Gravity Falls, and they're
Mhm.
both by him. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I forgot Giffany. Yeah, but
So-
that's another conversation. We'll have to have that later.
Yeah. We're gonna cap it off
I think
with
I
I
love
love
Steven
Steven
Universe.
Universe
That's pretty much
a
it.
lot. We'll
So
probably
much.
do a follow-up
So
cast
much. I'm
after
happy it's back.
this
I'm
season
so
at some
happy it's
point,
back.
because we're getting 4 weeks of episodes. So
Yeah,
like
at the end of
there's a lot of
summer.
content we can cover after that.
Yeah, and hopefully I will do a rewatch, so I'll actually be able to make more references, because right now I'm just like, references! I can't think of a few!
No, wait, let's do fusion talk really quick.
We didn't even talk about fusions! Real fast.
My favorite is Sardonyx. I love Sardonyx so much.
What's your favorite? Let's just do that.
I love how
Okay,
goofy
yeah,
she
that's
is, and I love
an easy
her.
question, isn't it? Whoops.
Yeah, she does the Ojo-sama laugh, which is the best thing about her.
Ojo-sama laugh!
Which, yeah, again, Sugar is a huge weeb. Like, she does the Ojo-sama
love
laugh.
her.
I love characters
Yeah,
like
she's
that
giant
because
weeb.
she's a performer
Duh.
warrior. Like,
I know, and she's so much fun, and I think the one thing we missed was that I know they always get like high profile people to do like the fusion voices. God damn it, Janelle Monáe should have done the voice of Sardonyx, because that's literally who they're referencing when they did Sardonyx. And I know it's not, and whoever did Sardonyx did a fantastic job. Did a really, really awesome job. So
hold
really,
on,
it's not
one
a
second,
big
I'll be
deal,
right
but I
back.
really would. I hope
just give me one second,
Janelle
I'll be right
Monáe
back.
is eventually in this show. But okay, I guess I'm gonna talk to myself real fast. Wherever he's going, where is he going? I love Sardonyx and I love Ojo-sama characters. I think no matter what, there should just be more
sorry about that.
Ojo-sama characters in TV
Yeah,
series.
they're
That's okay.
so
I'm talking
great.
about how much I love Ojo-sama characters, because I love
Yes.
Luvia.
Yes,
in
she's a good one.
Fate Stay Night, like a lot. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
I love Luvia. So like, yeah, no matter what. I guess that was
yeah,
an
I love
easy
all of it. I love
question.
that
like all of
Sugarlight
the
is Nicki
fusions, but
Minaj.
Sardonyx is the best.
That's great. Yeah, that's the problem with hiring
which is
high
why
profile
Sugarlight
voice
never gets to
actors
talk anymore.
for that, or
For-
musicians that when they do appear, you have to get them into the studio.
Yeah. Yeah, because Nicki Minaj is really, really famous now.
I do love
So she
that.
can't
Who
really
does Opa?
talk anymore, because I don't think. Oh
Yeah.
shoot! She's Rebecca Lee's a huge fan of her music. I know that. Not Rebecca Lee. Rebecca Sugar is a huge fan of her music. Hold on. Opal Steven. I'm actually getting my phone out for this one, folks. I know, right? Instead of me just bullshitting for once in my life, I'm actually going to try and find... Opal,
yes, her. I do love that they brought her in to sigh into the microphone during the episode where Peridot was making all our recordings.
I know. Right? That's so awesome. I love that. I think Opal's my favorite.
Opal has a really cool design.
Like, I love Opal's design. It's so pretty. She's so pretty. She's so pretty. I hope we see more Rainbow Quartz.
I'm super excited for the inevitable Peridot and Lapis fusions. Not just those two, but, like, in general, just seeing them fuse with other characters.
Oh my god, right? Oh my god, right? I want... Yeah. I think, like, the most likely is going to be Amethyst and Peridot, because they're besties. And I don't know who the fuck Lapis would fuse
but it's
with.
gonna happen.
I don't think Lapis wants to fuse with anybody for a while, frankly. Hey, it's gonna happen. Malachite's
as a concept, Malachite's a really cool character.
Malachite just looks really cool.
Fusions are such a cool mechanic for this show to have.
Yeah. So, is there... Right? Because I love the idea that they
that's the thing that sets it really apart is, like, unlike DBZ Fusion, where they're just kind of a combination of both characters, fusions in Steven Universe are pretty much forming a new character right then and there, with their own personalities that are kind of a blend of both characters.
Yeah.
And it's just really interesting that way.
Right, but like how Garnet, like... Yeah, because like how Garnet is kind of her own...
Yeah, I hear you now. We're back.
Not... Oh, I'm losing my connection. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I just thought I lost you for a second there. Okay, because my thing... Anyways, it is how it is with Garnet, where Garnet is both... She is a combination of Ruby and Sapphire, but she is also 1,000%
such a really cool,
person.
interesting dynamic.
And so, Yeah, it's always really cool to watch play out, and it's neat to see...
Yes. The answer is so good that way.
Where Garnet fuses for the first time, the answer is so magical. Because, she mentions when she ever fused with other rubies, she just felt like a bigger version of herself. Because ultimately all gems are basically clones, kind of, I guess. But they all also have their own individual personalities, which is part of what makes Earth so special, is it brings out those individual personalities. Welcome to Earth. And, I thought it was really cool that, she never really considered herself to be her own individual person until she fused with Sapphire, and then they realized, oh, well, we can be what we want to be, and in this case, this show Garnet. I love that.
I cannot wait to see where the show goes.
It's so good. It's so magic. I know, it's so magic. I just... I need to buy more merch that does exist, because I love it. I do. I can cry at so many different things, and I don't, because I'm a strong person. So I'm not going to cry like I did last week on the My Hero Academia podcast.
Okay.
Because I'm not that weak.
Okay, I think that about does it for us. Yes. Okay, I want to thank Visager for use of our background music this time.
So, yeah.
I found someone else that I'm going to try out their music. So link to their work in the description. Then that's about it. Fuck Dima. Good night, everyone.
Is that it? Fuck Dima. Good night.